Hey, welcome in to another Mystery Fifth Hour presented by McCurry Van Car Rental along with the Rockstar, Sean Henniger. If you watched our last Mystery Fifth Hour, Rockstar coming up in just a bit is going to tell you a horrible dating story. Horrible, disastrous, lucky to live.
So bad I wore the same outfit today.
So bad he refused to change clothing. That is Lance Taylor. He is Jim Dunaway.
What's up?
I am Ryan Brown. It is presented by McCurry Van Car Rental. Your local rental company. You've got those cars, trucks, vans you're looking for. You can depend on McCurry. All kinds of vehicles to choose from, including trucks, SUVs, passenger vans. They make it easy to rent. Get you in and out fast. Locations in Athens, Muscle Shoals, Huntsville, and Coleman on 2nd Avenue Northwest. You can call and reserve your rental today. 256-559-1003. That's 256-559-1003 or McCurryRentals.com. That's McCurryRentals.com. Thank you for joining us. If you're watching us on YouTube, make sure you give us a thumbs up. Set your alerts for when we're live. Make sure you subscribe. We're live 9 to 1 every day. We pop up here all the time. Make sure you subscribe and set your alerts. And on any social media, please share this and watch us every day 9 to 1. All right, let's do an exercise here. Everybody, close your eyes and envision the greatest day of your life. The greatest day of your life. All right, open your eyes.
Okay.
Now, you don't have to tell me what the day is.
It's true. It's today.
Oh. It is today.
Now we've got to take out like
Greatest
birth
day
of the
life.
kids.
Birth of the kids. You got 2 kids. It's gonna be hard to narrow that down to 1, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Greatest. Now Rockstar's just got the 1 kid. It's easy for him. Greatest day of your life. You could go back. Here's your choice. You can go back and relive that day, 24 hours, start to finish. But you forget it forever after that. Would you do it?
Absolutely not. Because the memory is what keeps it. Because if I go back now going like, this is what I thought was the best day of my life, like I totally thought.
Like you think it might be underwhelming when you get back there?
Yes, because you misremember. You add details that's going to make it better. Like, everything was great. Then like Dunaway's going to see like, I remember this steak was so much better and it's really not that good.
I disagree. Mine would not be underwhelming, but I do agree with you. The memory is what makes it.
Correct.
So I think memories keep everything alive. So I think it would be nearly impossible to give up something that good not to have that memory.
Well,
Can I go back and change things as the day go to make that day
you do
better?
whatever you want. Yeah, like
But it's already the best day of your life.
If you would say it's the greatest day of your life, but you wish you had done this, you could do that in that 24 hours. But you're gonna lose the memory forever. And see if
that's not necessarily a bad thing if it ended up not exactly the way I wanted it, but it was a great day.
Right. So let me ask a series of questions to each of you here then. I'll start with you, Rockstar. The greatest day of your life, is it a long time ago or is it more recent right now?
I'm trying to think of full day, like day
Yeah, that's
to
right.
night, like
Start to finish.
Yeah, like I'm trying to think of something like that, and it's way in my youth. This is 8th grade probably.
8th grade.
Well, because there's moments when you meet people and have great conversations, but like that lasted an hour. So like I want to put that in my greatest day.
Right.
So it would be the 8th grade Pirates Day for Pizzitz. Because
Oh my gosh, this is the greatest day of your life was Pirates Day.
Not great. I'm trying. It's all relevant because I can't give you another day because I don't want to say the birth of my son. That's too easy. So
it's a good one.
It is, but everybody can say that. We had a band and we all spent the night at one of the guys' house, and because you can spend the night at somebody because it's not really a school day. Go to school that day. There's nothing going and we got to play. The talent show was that morning. And we played Sweet Dreams by Marilyn Manson, the Marilyn Manson cover. Played in front of the entire school. The only thing I have ever won, music-wise, the prize winner was a $10 bill, and we won it for the talent show. It's the only time I've ever won anything. And then afterwards, after Pirates Day was over, we had an assembly or something like that for something, and then they let our band play on stage 5 songs. And I had a girlfriend at the time, and our band, like the attention that you got to be an 8th grader in a rock band was insanity. So sadly, we had another spend the night party that night.
The attention
I'm starting to learn about Rockstar is he's had more girlfriends than I thought.
Really? I mean, you had 8th grade groupies. The attention you got.
You were you still are kind of an introvert.
Oh yeah, definitely. No.
So did you get a girlfriend out of this?
No, I got a girlfriend out of being in a band 2 months prior.
Oh, so already in 8th grade you had one.
Yeah, and I remember she broke up with me because she just didn't want to be with somebody, and I went to a Widespread Panic concert. That night she broke up with me, and in the lawn, and I remember seeing her just like on guys. This is like 9th grade, on guys' laps and just like giggling and like doing tickle fights in front of me. I'm just going. That's the last time I was on the lawn at Oak Mountain.
What was the name of the band?
Our band,
Yeah.
it changed. It was Tufayan. It was Elevation.
What?
It was Tufayan. There's a bread company. We had a sign that said Tufayan.
Tufan?
Tufayan bread. Tufayan. We were Retrospective. We were Elevation 150.
Terrible.
Wait a minute,
terrible.
Elevation 150 had to be like a Christian band.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
a Psalms 150.
That's
something-
right,
and
yeah.
then
That just sounds too Christian.
And we had the place I was like we tried to look at it was kind of like the elevation of the place where we rehearsed, and so
Yeah.
Elevation 150 was probably the longest that it lasted. And then Retrospective, and then they were all awful names. We were 13, 12 years old, so we were going to be called the Bush Crushers.
So was your
Elevation 150.
was your memory more recent or more distant?
Oh, I got them all.
Or your
man.
day,
I
your
had so
greatest
many
day.
good days, but the one that first popped in my mind was senior trip Panama City. We drove all night. We're down there early. We don't sleep. We Waffle House it at Panama City. Then we go and buy beer, cheapest beer we could find. We pack the coolers. We go down to the beach. We roll the baby oil on. We find the girls, Babby Hocutt and Susan Allen and Cynthia and all of them, and just a great day. Seeing them in just skimpiest bikinis, just a clear
right.
blue day in Panama
Yeah.
City. We're on the road. All of us are on the road, packed into the hotel with no parents on
Paint
the
it.
trip at all. It was a fantastic day.
That's better than Pirate Day to you?
Fantastic day. Just skipping back up to the room to
Didn't
make
the
out
dude
and
fall
stuff.
from the balcony though?
That was later into the trip. Yeah, that was not that day. But then
A little bit of a damper.
Sober it up.
Guys, there's let you know the day's going to get a little bad. I've been here before.
We
Just
go
wait.
back out to the beach. Sun setting. Then we go back and we go. What was it? Miracle Mile. We ride those damn things. Those ride all the time.
A Miracle Strip.
Was it?
I thought they called it Miracle Strip.
Maybe it was.
Yeah.
We had
The-
little
the
armbands.
amusement park?
Ride
Yeah.
whatever you want. Get in the armbands. And that one thing that goes. It was the rock and roll circle thing, and it was playing "Caught Up in You."
38 Special.
38 Special. Yeah. And I was 2 cars behind the girl I wanted to be caught up with, and I could never catch her. I was always 2
And you
cars
want to
behind
really
her.
live that day.
Yeah.
Well,
So it was good. It was a good day.
Wow. But is there anything you would change? Like if I
I
allowed
would
you to
catch
go back?
the girl 2 carts in
You'd
front
sit
of me.
in
I
her
mean,
car.
we did a little make out, but we didn't lose any of the bikini parts.
Yeah.
And I wanted to lose the bikini
but see,
parts.
another
How old
thing,
were you?
I was a senior in high school.
you
This was your
probably,
senior trip, right?
Yeah.
in your head, you probably think she's a lot hotter than she was too, because you're going to go back to that going, oh, this is what I was going after? Because you've made her in your head.
She was pretty hot.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh yeah, but she's a 10 in your head.
Yeah,
That's what I'm saying. So if you see her now, you think she's going to be a 10.
Yeah.
If you relive that day.
So is yours more distant or more recent?
I mean,
They're all over the place. Yeah,
yeah, I got.
I can take out
ton
different
all over the
days.
place.
So
Every
you
year.
you can't narrow it because I don't think I can narrow it down to one. I'm surprised Rockstar did.
No, I mean, I
Well,
Sadly-
I was just thinking that's one I could think of was
Yeah.
a full day. Like I never
right.
had a senior
Right.
trip. I never had one of these Panama City nights. I've never done that.
Yeah, I mean, I had a really, really wild one in Vegas. It was pretty incredible.
Spearstone Rhino.
It was-
Do you remember all 24 hours of it? You think?
Yeah, I pretty much
Do you
do.
really?
And it went 24 hours. So
Yeah.
pretty much that. So we had gotten out there on a Friday. And so Saturday, it was the semifinals of the Final Four.
Okay.
And got up that morning, hanging out with a couple of guys. We had a big group because we had 2 bachelor parties going on at the same time. And
That is a recipe for disaster.
yeah,
Really?
it
Those
was.
bachelor
Yeah.
parties.
And we, so some of us were staying at the Hard Rock, and then the others were staying at the Palms, and they're pretty far apart. I mean, relatively in Las Vegas. So we're at the Hard Rock. We're hanging out there. I run into Brian May, guitarist for Queen.
That's awesome.
Like
Yeah,
you
which-
recognized him? Just
He's very
He's
recognizable.
6'6" with a mop of hair.
yeah.
I mean,
and
it's
you're a
either
big Queen fan.
Yeah, it's either him or Howard Stern. But I
Will you
did say
rock
something.
me?
To him. We were like in a French restaurant. I was just at the bar, just having a beer. And this is probably, I'll never forget, it was a cold, rainy day in March. And I said something to him, and he was kind of a dick. But anyway, I got to see him, meet him, whatever. But after that, we went down to the craps table, and one of the dudes there in our group won $35,000 in 90 minutes.
Are you
my God.
kidding me?
Yeah.
So a guy you were on the trip with?
Yeah, he's already a trust fund kid, so he's got a ton of cash.
Yeah, that's the way it works normally, right?
And so we met this big group of fun people, and he had a suite, and we were up in the suite, and one of our, well, I'll tell you, there were other people there that you guys know that I don't want to incriminate anybody.
Right.
But there was so much stuff going on in that suite. I've never seen anything like it. And it was, so they
Jungle
were,
Gym.
no, I'm telling it was crazy.
Magic tricks.
I'll just say some entertainers showed up and they had a bag of stuff they dumped out.
Oh my.
Yeah, and I mean, there was so much stuff going on. and
Crystals? Were they crystals?
I was trying to
crystals?
concentrate on, I told everybody.
The
everybody
Michigan
was-
game. We got to have Michigan's got to
get
hit.
them home.
Everybody was on UConn. It was the Final Four of UConn was playing Duke, Georgia Tech was playing Oklahoma State.
Sorry about the lock, Lance.
I had told everybody Duke is the absolute lock. Everybody played UConn. And it was the Okafor team for UConn.
Yeah, Mecca Okafor.
Yeah, the team that ended up winning the national championship. But I had a ton of money on, that's what I used to do. I'd go to Vegas and I'd pick one game and that's what I would.
You just
basically
load
put
up everything on it, yeah.
So I got all my circle to load up on Duke, but everybody else that we knew was on, including Billy Walters, who's like one of the infamous gamblers of all time.
Were you in contact with him out there, or you just knew which side he was on?
So there's some big guys from Birmingham that you guys would know. They had a big villa out there. And this is the first time I'd ever been in the villa. It had like 20-foot ceilings. It was in the Bellagio. It had a backyard with a pool. It had their own butler. And this is like, you're looking at the hotel. This is in one of those hotels, which was kind of crazy. But when I sat down, they were like, what do you like today? And I told them I love Duke. And they're like, Billy Walters is on UConn. And I was like, it sucks for Billy.
Billy
He'll
Walters is going to
every
lose some
now and
money.
then.
Yeah.
Billy.
So Duke pretty much leads the entire game. UConn goes on a late run. I think Duke was catching like 3.5 in that game. And they were down 6, I think, if I'm playing this right. And Chris Duhon hits like a 35-footer to end the game to cover.
A meaningless backdoor cover bucket?
And again, this is a big, big suite. So all of this other activity is going on.
Right.
And all of us are going nuts, me and my guys that have money on Duke. And then later that night we went out and it was just.
Did you spend all $35,000? Like, did he?
No, I'll never forget though. Somebody we knew ran up a big tab, and that guy ended up helping him out with the tab. Just
Oh,
to
he
be nice.
got underwater a little bit?
Yeah.
Wow.
But it was just a fun. It was a
That
fun,
look you just gave me like that.
fun, wild night.
Wow.
Yeah.
Would you go? So you would not go back and relive that and then forget about it? Like, how often do you think about it? How often do you think about that day that you just mentioned? How often do you think about that? Almost never.
It's been years. But
So if
every
you
now and
lost the memory, it's
Yeah,
really not
maybe I
losing that
would.
much. So that's kind of my point. Like,
Maybe
how
I
often
would.
do you think about Pirate Day, Rockstar? You haven't thought about that in
Every
years.
day, every morning I
Every
wake
morning
up,
when you wake
yeah.
up. The Mystery Fifth Hour. Rockstar, if you watched our last Mystery Fifth Hour, Rockstar gave you an incredible, speaking of Vegas, trip he had to Vegas with his then girlfriend. And he said, I've got an even worse story about a date. And we know the people that set him up for this date. He's about to tell that right now. But a reminder, it's the Mystery Fifth Hour presented by McCurry Van Car Rental, the local rental company you can depend on. All kinds of vehicles to choose from, including trucks, SUVs, passenger vans that make it easy to rent, get you in and out fast. Locations in Athens, Muscle Shoals, Huntsville, and Coleman on 2nd Avenue Northwest. Reserve your rental today, 256-559-1003 or McCurryRentals.com. That's McCurryRentals.com. Give us a thumbs up on YouTube. Make sure you subscribe. Set your alerts to get an alert when we're live on YouTube. And if you're watching us on any of the social medias, give us a thumbs up, share us, like us, all those things on social media. Rockstar, the floor is yours.
So we had our former company Cumulus Christmas party somewhere around Liberty Park. I can't remember. But
It was that house that's like way off the road.
Yeah, but this wasn't at the house. This is
I remember
this is
that.
at another venue close to that house. Because I remember I went to the house first, and they said, "There's no. You're talking about going over there." So one of our coworkers' wives comes up to me at the party and says, "I haven't seen her in forever," and she says, "Are you a nice guy?"
No.
And I said, "I try to be." And she's like, "Well, we have a nanny, and she is great. She's amazing with our kids, and she needs to go out. And she's a musician too, so
Okay.
you could play music together." I was like, "That's exactly what I want. Is someone to play music with."
really.
And
Like
Are you
Captain-
being serious?
no.
Not like y'all are Captain
Well, I
and
didn't say
Tennille
that
all
to
of
her.
a
I was like,
sudden.
okay.
No, but I remember there was the chick that you hung out with that you played a lot of
Yeah.
music with.
But that's like I wasn't trying to. I don't want to date. That's another. Nancy always asks me this. Would you rather be with somebody that's a musician? It's like no, I don't, because you're always competing with each other. in my opinion.
Yeah, I sure as hell wouldn't want to be with a chick that talks sports.
Oh Lord.
What
no.
if she booked?
No.
Ooh, I
Yeah.
don't know
What if
I-
she gave out logs and you
Yeah.
had like a competing log?
I mean, the roommate sort of does that. She always tells me who
Bet-
she thinks is going to win.
Bet you.
No, she's good at the fantasy stuff, but not the gambling. Anyway, sorry.
So she said, we have this nanny, and I'm going to give you her number, and I know she'll go out with you. So text her, or no, not go out with, play music with you. That was the setup. Y'all are just going to get together
Yeah,
to
just
play
get together,
music.
play a few songs. Yeah.
So I texted, because it was like 2011, 2012, and we had texted, and she said she was going to come to my place and bring her guitar on a Sunday. And I said, okay. So she comes in, and she's in this skimpy-ass outfit. She's tiny, one of the most petite girls I've ever seen. Like, her hands were monkey paws. And she comes with her guitar, and we sit down, and she says, I brought wild turkey. I can't play without wild turkey.
She needed a shot. All right.
And I was like, okay. And she's like, offered me some. I was like, no, I don't drink. You can do whatever. If that's what you need to do. She plays me one of her songs. I can't remember for the life of me. I was like, I was just amazed that she could get her fingers on the fretboard.
Was she worth the shit?
I think she was good, but she had such small hands. It's amazing to see her
Did she have
play.
to two-hand the bottle of wild turkey?
Shot glass.
No. So we're there for playing for like an hour, and then it comes to the point where I was like, I need to eat. I was like, there's there's an Asian restaurant literally down the street if you want to go. And she's like, okay. So we go to this Asian restaurant, and we're sitting there, probably the only people there. And she starts to tell me about she was homeschooled, and she thought it was so awesome because her mom always gave her the answer key to all of her stuff. Isn't that cool? And I was like, no. But that's so her mom always gave her the answer key to everything, so she passed with probably like a 4.0. And then she throws out the number 27 to me.
I remember this.
I didn't.
She just says 27.
Yeah, like she's like she pretty much like says that she's been with 27 people.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, like I didn't know this wasn't really I'm not baiting for this.
She just opened the door for you.
I think the door was wide open.
Literally.
Yeah.
I
swinging.
instantly would have looked at the menu and said, 27. I don't really like octopus. I'm going to go with the 24.
Take out the octo.
Okay.
So we eat. I pay for it. We go back to my place. It is now 8:30. This is when I think we were doing mornings. I knew we were doing mornings, 6 a.m. shift. I'm pretty sure.
Our show, or
think
you?
it's either
This is
that
when
or
you
10
were Richard.
We didn't
and-
start doing mornings till 17.
Yes.
Okay, so we're doing 10 to 2.
Okay.
I think I gave the excuse that we were doing 6
This
to
is
10.
when you were with us, though, not with
Yes.
Richard and
Right.
Jay. Okay.
Yes. So she's like getting comfortable and everything, sitting on the couch and everything. So I'm just, oh my God, I gotta go work. And so she's like, I am just so glad I have nothing to do tomorrow.
Oh, God.
Nothing. And I was like, oh, I'm packed. I can't. And so
A lot of guys would have stepped over your dead body for this.
I know.
correct.
But did you know this is what was it? Play here?
Yeah, I figured.
Okay.
Hey, are you a good guy?
Yeah.
Okay.
Exactly. That's what you're a nice guy. Like this is it's blown up in my face. I'm like literally escorting her to the front door, like walking her to her car. It's almost like she's like grabbing the door frame. And like,
No, I'll stay.
And I'm just like,
I need 28. I
yeah,
got to meet my quota.
have a good night. It was nice playing with you and everything. Never talk to her again.
So did
Nothing.
the coworker ever say anything to you about this?
No.
Or the coworker's wife?
No, it's never been brought up again. I guarantee if I saw them and brought it up, they'd be like, I don't know what you're talking about. And I was like, this girl did not come up from thin air. Like I didn't just imagine.
Do you even know her name?
Yes.
Do you
I
know?
Don't know her last name.
Did she remain a nanny with them?
I think so.
After
And
that,
I remember
yeah.
I saw her because I told you we were doing trivia one night, and I go, that girl, she had big fuzzy boots on. I go, that girl looks like that girl. And so I went out to her and I asked, I was like, you look familiar. And she said, yeah, I remember we had played together. And I was like, yeah, how you doing? She's like, oh, I'm married. And I was like, oh, that's,
So that was her?
yeah.
You
this
found
is
28.
probably 5 or 6 years
Congratulations.
ago.
Yeah.
But I remember
Likely
walking out
38, by the way.
yeah. So she's married now.
Did the husband of the wife who set you up, did he look like he was really friendly with her too?
Yeah, could he have been?
He was a
one
big
through-
fan because I remember I brought it up to him. I was like, "Hey, your wife tries to tell me." I was like, "Oh my God, dude, she's amazing."
Yeah,
Seriously,
Yeah.
could he have
Love
been?
spending time with her.
Did you suspect he was 1 through 27? Like
Oh,
he was in that?
I'm not going to get into that. I don't know.
Well,
but
we
he,
do.
he
Okay.
Well, I
was
mean, gun to head if you had to guess.
probably. The effort was made.
I'm not going to get into it. Okay.
Is there a chance the wife was 25?
I'm sure an effort was made. Like, you need to nanny my kid today, but he's not here. Well, we got to do something. We're paying you.
There's a Chinese restaurant down the street.
So that was my.
That was
fun
your
date. Yeah, so like
fun
my
date.
dating history, again, I've never been on an official date with a girl. I've never met a girl at a bar saying, give me your number, I'd like to take you out sometime. Never in my life.
Has anybody ever sucked on your toes?
Oh my God.
I didn't know where you're going with that.
Pinky did.
All
Pinky
right,
did.
that
She
is
chased me
a
up the stairwell.
Mystery Fifth Hour. Thank you, Rockstar, for that story. McCurry Van Car Rentals, local rental company you can depend on. All kinds of vehicles to choose from. Trucks, SUVs, passenger vans, all right there at McCurry. Great locations in Athens, Muscle Shoals, Huntsville, Coltman on 2nd Avenue Northwest. Call and reserve your rental today, 256-559-1003 or McCurryRentals.com. Give us a thumbs up. Make sure you set your alerts and you subscribe on YouTube. Like us everywhere. Share us on social media. Watch us every day, 9 to 1 on The Next Round. Thank you for joining us for the Mystery Fifth Hour.